We still have Chris Kende Wandu in the studio to talk to us about this. And of course, joining us at this time is also a public affairs analyst, Smart Akpedri. Thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Thank you very much. And good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
All right. How do you feel about the call by the Senate that Nigeria needs fresh hands in handling our security?
You see, when we say Nigeria needs fresh hand in the area of security, and we're talking about the sack of all our security chiefs, perhaps we should be calling for the sack of the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
Wow.
That's the simple truth. However, it is not an issue of the security chief, it is in the issue of the system at which we are operating. What is the system at which we are operating? First, we don't have concerted efforts. We don't have a synergy among all our security chiefs. That's why you will see the chief of army staff will say, oh, when we're going to leave Dapchi, we handed over to the police. And the police will say, at what point did you hand it over to us? At what point did you even tell us that you were backing out? So please, please, it's not true. That shows lack of breakdown. So if we're talking about, say, you see, security is not what you treat in levity. Security should be paramount in the life of every nation. And again, bringing in all the security chiefs, what is currently ravaging Nigeria is internal security. And who is the head of internal security? The Nigerian police, the SSS.
Yeah.
Are these two bodies, are they working in synergy? Are they, do we have a symbiotic relationship among these two agencies? As far as I'm concerned, no is the answer. The SSS, they are supposed to be in every local government. They are supposed to be in every ward. What is the strength of the SSS?
That's the point.
At this point we are. What is the strength of the SSS? When have you heard of employment in the SSS? They bring people in from the back door. And when they bring them in from the back door, are these competent people? I'm not against bringing people even from the back door.
But do you train them?
But do you train them? And when you train them, have you adequately deployed them? Have you adequately given them a brief of what you're going to do? You see, because you see, there is no way backdoor employment will not go. Perhaps a DG that you know will just say, oh, I'm going there today as I've been appointed as the DG. Let me go with somebody that I know. So that is a backdoor employment. We cannot rule that out. I'm not against that. But we are talking about competency. The SSS and the police are the major two agencies that we should that we should be blaming for the internal security breakdown of this nation. If we're talking about the killings by the herdsmen, which is a terrorist attack, we should be talking of also the robbery and kidnapping every day. Of course, you saw what happened in Offa. Yes, thank God for the likes of, I know I can never stop appreciating somebody like Abba Kyari, a gentle and a fine police officer, but also we only have one, we have so many of him. They brought him in, and so far they've apprehended about 12, and perhaps investigation is still going on. And thank God for once they are keeping it to themselves. Perhaps they are going to unveil it much later. But to come to the point, you see, the issue of security, internal security, is more of the job of the SSS and the police. Now, the people came in, over 15 guys came in, robbed, killed over 7 or 8 police officers, and even the vigilante were saying that, oh, they counted over 50. The police were saying, oh, they killed only 6 or 7 policemen, and they killed maybe 8 citizens. You see, anytime they say this word, only, honestly, it gave me goose pimples. Sometimes I feel like I should get closer to this person and give him a punch. Because you cannot even say...
Let's hold on your punch. Let's find out what Chris has to say about that. That point that he raised about the lack of synergy between the security forces, whether the police, the army, DSS, and the rest of them. But while you make that point, the U.S. Army, some of them visiting Nigeria, they actually said, look, that there is a need for Nigerian military to change their mindset. And they also need to evolve or change their tactics, that they're handling this war against insurgency, war against terrorism, like conventional warfare.
And that's true. You know, the first question you asked initially was, should the service chiefs go? Has been recommended by the Senate. I personally think that it's high time they leave. It's not that, it's not truly that their inability to be able to perform. They performed.
Yeah.
And I believe that they performed to the best of their ability. And the country should be grateful to them for service well rendered. But now, I think we need fresh ideas, just like the senator said. Okay? And that's my problem with the present government. Even look at the Federal Executive Council. We are going to the 4th year. And we know that close to over 70% or 80% of the cabinet members of the president are not performing. But the president just kept quiet and rolling.
There was a time we heard about a possible cabinet reshuffle.
It wasn't twice, it was several times and the rest of them. And, you know, then the
but then again, it wasn't not too long ago, President Buhari actually retained his present crop of service chiefs. You know, extended their
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, meaning that he had, that was a vote of confidence.
That is him.
In them and,
that is him having what is on ground. What is on ground? The governor of Borno State said something a few days back. Yeah. That for the first time, the present commander of the operation, Lafia Dole, is the best that ever happened. He said that. Funny enough, that man is
not to come.
Yes, he said even his quote unquote our brothers that were here that commanded this never performed as well as this guy did, and the guy is just from the southeast. That's a governor in Borno State. So there were several people before him, but this guy came with some fresh ideas, and he's performing. The same thing with our service. The problem we have is that now he mentions something, some kind of synergy between the various security agencies. We have the office of the NSA. We have the chief of defense staff. Those two offices were supposed to be the coordinating room for all the armed forces of Nigeria. Have them been doing what they're supposed to do? And just like somebody said, I think most of our top military men, probably they are being more political now than even be. That is the issue we're having.
It seems so to you?
Yes, that is what I believe. Because, take for example, the Inspector General of Police. He was sent to Benue to do something. And he didn't go there, he didn't even do what he was supposed to. And the president came out to say, I asked this guy to do this, and he didn't do it. And what has happened to him?
Not immediately. He didn't come out immediately to say
that. That is what I'm saying. The president came when he went to Benue, and he was told. And he said, this was what I learned, and this that he never believed that. Immediately, what the president is supposed to have done is just make sure this guy, please step aside, get someone else. That's how you motivate. The other ones will sit up. Now we're having problem all over. Then I don't blame our soldiers. The soldiers, the military are supposed to be the last line of defense.
But we are not trained for. They are the primary line of defense. That is it.
The police, the DSS, and the other security operatives are supposed to handle most of the internal. The army, we are not trained to handle internal security.
So let me bring you in here. You know, earlier you said that the blame should be solely at the doorstep of first of the police and then the SSS. But do you blame these agencies for not similarly not performing? Because you know why I'm asking. Are they well equipped? Are they well funded? The president just approved the release of $1 billion to, equip the military, saying that of course, to ensure internal security. But like he just said, that is not the purview of the military. The military doesn't have the responsibility of securing any country's internal safety.
Yeah, I've said that before, that you see, when we talk about the problem that we are facing in the country now is not external aggression, it is internal aggression. And if it is internal aggression, it is the police and the SSS. Are these two agencies properly funded? They are not even funded, as far as I'm concerned. What you give to them is peanuts. You see, and if you're talking about being funded, you talk about welfare. If you're talking about welfare, you will talk about the welfare that goes even beyond that of a police officer that involves his wife or his wives, because you know police officers, they're always having wives. They are children.
That would be their business.
Their children. No, their children. Their children.
Yeah.
Also, you talk about
there should be standards.
You talk about the police officers and their family. Let me even use that word. And his family. If a policeman knows that, okay, I'm going to face this Boko, I'm going to face these people, this external, this internal aggression, these armed robbers, I know that if in the course of my duty,
family will be taken care of.
I drop dead, my family will be adequately taken care of. You understand?
Yeah.
That my children will go to school. They will go to some of the best schools. A police officer will probably hold his head high that he's going to serve a nation if he knows that even the nation even respects him. When you see a police officer, are you supposed to be scared, or you're supposed to be happy? Or you're supposed to be secured?
Have a sense of security.
Or you're supposed to have a sense of security.
Yeah. Smart.
The police are not...
Yeah, to make it robust, apologies. It just brings to mind again. Recall that police officer, that gallant police officer that was killed during the armed robbery incident, that he shot at some, armed robber and some night Owerri. And Nigerians had to come together online to raise funds for his family.
Yeah.
That is Nigerians. And you see, we're talking about Nigerians. Why did the Nigerians do this? Nigerians did this because the government did not do anything. Because the police did not do anything. First, I'll quickly go into economics. All over the world, say like America and Britain, the insurance companies own the banks. But today in Nigeria, the banks own the insurance companies. Are these people adequately insured? They are not. So you see a policeman will die and they will struggle to give the family 100,000 for burial expenses. So a policeman is not enthusiastic to go face, because in the first place, when you are going out for operation, they will count the number of bullets they are giving to a policeman. Say maybe, okay, go to the armory officer. Okay, we are giving you 15 bullets. The armed robbers going, they are coming with perhaps over all these magazines, double magazines that have been doubled, and they have all their magazines filled. At every point, they are carrying their AK-47. They have well over 60 bullets, and the police have only 14 or 15. Will you go and face such person? You see, the police, okay, so we need an holistic... To
your mind, the real issue here is the ill-equipped
police,
soldier or police that cannot really just fight this
the
war.
Police
now,
is ill-equipped.
Chris, let me bring this to you. The Senate held a security summit not too long ago, and they came up with all manner of recommendations. Is it enough really to just say, look, we need fresh ideas, we need fresh blood to be injected into the security operations to ensure, guarantee Nigeria's safety? Is it possible too for the Senate to actually find out exactly why these service chiefs are not delivering in the first place, so that you know if it's a problem of lack of funding, ill motivation, lack of proper equipment and all of that, so that they know exactly where to tackle the problem from? Otherwise, we'll all just get emotional and say, look, these people are not delivering, let's kick them out. What about you get a new set of people and the same challenges are there? How do you expect them to deliver? I
totally agree with you. The function of the legislature is that of oversight. Also, it's part of their functions. And when you say oversight, that means that you look at the activities of most of them, look at where the challenges are coming from, provide solutions, if it's in terms of motivation, in terms of monetary and the rest of them, make provision for it, make provision for welfare of the officers and the rest of them. But even at that, personally, I don't think that so far, we probably haven't gotten to the point where we think that we funded our military as much as we should, but I don't think we are doing badly. Because look at the provision of the budget every year. Security takes almost the largest chunk. We're just talking about education. Education is just about 5%. If we spend a country that spends all its resources on security challenges and the rest of them, and leave the education sector, is bound to fail.
And then there's the issue of the $462 million that was
also,
you know, pulled out of the CBN.
Exactly.
Yes,
I was a bit
helicopters.
That is what I'm saying. Yeah. Look at what is happening in Benue. Over 300,000 children out of school already. And our president was talking about people being lazy, youth being lazy. So that is the problem. We have serious challenges. While we are facing, and don't forget that in terms of security, the problem we have now, it wasn't as bad as this during when in 2014 when the PDP was leaving, because that was one of the campaign promises of the APC government that we are going to make you more secured.
Which means they understood the problem.
That is it.
Why the
one of the reasons why President Buhari was elected was because he was a former military person.
Yes.
And we believed that he was going to tackle these challenges. Okay. Then we had.
But don't forget, the same president said, "I wish I was 40 years old."
Yes.
Because
no, it was a wish. Okay. If he knew that he wish he was 40 years, if he feels that he was old, he's old enough now not be able to take up the challenge.
And then people are talking about the body language alone, even regardless of your age. But if people see that you are ready to do something,
that is what I'm saying.
They will be on their toes.
Then another problem we are also having is within the security business, how well are we blended with the communities where they are operating. Because
in order for them to provide information that can lead to intelligence.
Because you have to build people's confidence for them to give you information. Okay? For you to come to my community and for me to be able to volunteer, most of these people, most of these guys stay around, they live within the communities.
Yeah.
For me to volunteer information to you, I must believe that whatever information I'm giving you is not going to use against me.
It must be people's friends.
That is it. That must be. Yes, we must put some kind of faces to it.
Yeah.
And that is the problem we're also having presently.
Talking about being people's friends, we've got so many reports from Human Rights Watch, Transparency International about the conduct of Nigerian soldiers, which they will always come out to deny. And then Amnesty International as well, at different times, really, saying that this is what they do, but they will come out to say no. And then there was one, in fact, I don't even know if I should say it online. Someone tweeted and said that there is hardly a home in Borno State that a soldier has not committed one atrocity or the other. I think I should put it that way, in any village in Borno State. And then they will come out to say this. And then, of course, we know the statement from T.Y. Danjuma. So how easy would it be for people to trust security operatives if this kind of information goes around, or if they see themselves that they do not treat them, they see them as bloody civilians?
You see, let me say something. I've always been a promoter of community policing.
We're back to that.
You see, if we're talking about community policing, we are talking about a synergy between the people living in the village or in the community and the police authority. Now, you are telling the people in the community, look, please protect your community. Give us information about your community. Give us the information about the... I'll quickly give you one example. I was born in Ajegunle, and there is this community where we have... one of these transport services. Every morning that goes to the east, every morning you will see boys attacking people wanting to travel. At a point, do you know what we did? Most of we young ones, what we did? We went and called the MD of the owner of that place. We said, look, most of these boys doing this, they are the boys living at Amukoko, Musafejo, this place, Bale. Do something about it. If you don't do something about it, you will lose your passengers. Nobody wants to travel again. You find out that most of your boys that are supposed to leave by 6, people don't come out until about 7:30. Do you know what they did? This guy walked on the community this thing. The next, a week after, SAS guys came from Ikeja, went to all these boys' homes at about 2:33 when they were getting ready, picked all of them.
And that was based on the information you provided as a community.
And you know
so
what?
We cannot really leave security to
up till up to the 80s, up to the 80s where I relocated.
Okay, we hardly have time. Let me bring it back to Chris Nwando. Professionalism, discipline in the army, in the police force, in the DSS and the rest of them. Can we really say that That's still there, especially when a T.Y. Danjuma says, look, there is collusion. Because it takes a lack of professionalism for any military officer to compromise the security of the people that he's supposed to be protecting.
Yes, thank you. I think that our military personnel should be trained and retrained and retrained. Okay, I don't know the level of training they are given these days, but we have gone beyond, what we are facing now has gone beyond conventional war. It's no longer a conventional warfare.
Are they even getting training in
that is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. On conventional, they need that training because the US, even the US Army said it.
They perform well outside Nigeria. Let's remember that.
Sorry.
And anytime our soldiers go out on any,
they perform. That is it. Why is it that
regardless
we should be able
of
to ask ourselves? Why is it that when our
policemen
go outside? Why is it that our military men go outside? They perform excellently well.
Yeah, but that's a totally different question. This is unconventional.
But this is an unconventional warfare. So you cannot be fighting an unconventional warfare with a conventional means. So there must be change intact, which is why I like the kind of collaboration going on now between the US military and the Nigerian military. But a lot still needs to be done. Then also we should remove politics from the military. So many ex-soldiers, top echelons are saying it, that this military that we have now, it wasn't what we used to have during our days. Obasanjo have said it, OBJ said it, Tiwaji have said it, and so many other former top military. This is not the military that we left. I think the military should try as much as possible to define their role. Now, they should just leave the politicians to do themselves. I'm interested in
that point that you make too about the partnership between the U.S. military and the Nigerian military.
Yes.
Of course, the U.S. forces have given the example of the successes recorded in the Middle East.
Yes.
In the Middle East,
yes.
Can you really say that the Middle East narrative is a success story? Can the Nigerian military really
replicate?
Yes.
No, the issue is that every society has its own peculiar challenges. Yes, they might have a template for Middle East.
Yeah.
But don't forget that there was a time in this country that we never heard of anything like suicide bombing. Where did it come from? There was a time that we didn't have suicide bombing. In fact, it was alien to us that people just come and just press and rest of them. Those are places, those are the kind of things we need to learn from them.
But then the UK is also offering Nigeria help. Now,
whichever help we can get now, we need it as quickly as possible. And the president needs to be on top of this. The buck stops on his table. He's the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for goodness sake.
The body language?
I don't think that body language is working any longer.
Okay. The president will be visiting with the U.S. President Donald Trump April 30, and part of what they'll be discussing, of course, is the security challenge that Nigeria is facing. Let's hope by the time he comes back, we will get some kind of change, positive one. Smart Akpejoye, thank you very much for joining us, and Chris Kende Wando, as always, gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll bring you the news update and, of course, our other discussions.